Alright. זיו ומיכל, אתם מוכנים?
נטע, מה להגיד למי שלא הצליח?
תיכנסו לקישור הזה, מה ששלחנו.
של היוטיוב?
Excuse me.
כן. Yes, רינו, please.
We are live. You
Alright.
can begin.
Okay, מיכל וזיו, you want to present?
Sure,
Our
I'd love
work?
to. I'd
All
love
right.
to. So, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy that we are all here. Today, we're going to talk about a problem that affects millions of people every day and will continue to affect us if we are not going to act. If you didn't know, the climate is changing. Global warming is happening, and it's going to affect all of us. So today, we are going to talk about the effects of global warming, what our school did in our project, and we are going to talk about the problems that are affecting the global warming. So, let's begin. אפשר לעבור שקופית.
אתה שולט בזה, אבל... אוי, זה רץ, כי אני הזזתי.
כן,
אתה שולט בזה גם, זיו. היא עשתה אותך גם מנהל. כן.
רגע, זה לא נותן לי.
אבל אין בעיה. לא נורא, אני אעביר לך, הכל טוב.
Okay, so we are going to start with our definition to climate change. So, climate change is a serious problem that affects millions of people every year. Now, it happened because of our machines. Our machines pollute greenhouse gases, and greenhouse gases... greenhouse gases... Greenhouse gases make our planet warmer. So, we are only making more greenhouse gases and polluting them into the atmosphere, and we are making more and more and more. So we need to stop this. Now, because the world is getting warmer, we are getting, our world is changing. Of course, sea levels are rising, the temperature is rising as well, massive storms and fire outbreaks. It seems that we are in a turning point of the future of this civilization. אפשר להמשיך. זה עדיין לא נותן לי לעשות...
אוקיי, אז אני אעשה את זה, בסדר גמור.
כן. So, what did our school did? In the last couple of weeks, we worked on a few projects to understand a little better the climate in our world and specifically in Israel. First, every first day, our classes got together and we were giving a different assignment about climate change. Like, in one of the projects, we had to interview our grandparents about the times in the 1950s to the 70s about how the temperature was much lower. Much lower than how it is today. Our results came up that in the 50s to 70s, the temperature was really low, and there were rains already, and it was started to rain already in October. Today, in Israel, in October, we barely had any rain. It only started raining about yesterday here in Israel. So, for some of our next projects, we split it into groups and worked on trying to think of ideas to stop stop the things that are creating global warming. We had to come up with ideas, machines, any form of idea to try to stop what we were talking about. אפשר להמשיך.
אוקיי.
עכשיו רגע, זה נועם. Noam?
The factors for climate change. Climate change has many factors, caused some by human and some by machine, some by nature. Some of them include industrial activity, which include combustion, plastic combustion, coal combustion, and wood combustion, and more. Humans like extracting resources like coal and oil, but when we extract those resources, we pollute greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Cows release greenhouse gases for centuries. Our diets included meat, mainly beef. So, humans farm a lot of cows. But the problem is that cows pollute methane, which is a greenhouse gas. The more cows we farm, the more methane polluted to the atmosphere, and thus our world gets warmer faster and faster. Another factor for climate change are cars. Cars burn fuel and release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The chemical which the fuel is formed from contaminate the ozone layer when burned in mass numbers, as it is the number one reason for climate change. Abba.
Okay.
Now, in one of our lessons, we also talked about how the climate change affects Israel. So we're, like many other countries, in threat of floods because we have sea next to us, and the most vulnerable regions are Haifa, Akron, and many other coastal cities. And as we mentioned before, there are much less rain now than there was a couple of decades ago, which causes longer dry periods in which fires start super easily. If people drop a cigarette in a field, it just starts a massive fire. Also, it's already warm in the Middle East, and the weather in Israel becomes more extreme and unpleasant every year, every day, which forces us to use air conditioning, which only worsens the condition in climate change.
Okay. We finished sharing our presentation. Rinu?
Yes.
Okay, and stop sharing because we finished.
Okay. So, Aditya, can you start?
Yes, miss. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
You can put it in slide mode, slideshow. Yes. Sakshi, you can begin.
A warm morning to everyone present here. We welcome all our friends from Israel. Today, we, the students of Empisha English High School, India, are going to present a short presentation on our topic, Climate Action Project.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we, the students of Empisha English High School, India, are going to present our work on the topic, Climate Action Project. This is a collaborative project between Israel and India. Today, we are going to share our thoughts and ideas with our friends in Israel. This interactive project will help us all to know about our climate and make Earth a better place to live. The Aare colony, measuring 1,287 hectares and located adjoining to Sanjay Gandhi National Park, is known as a major green lung of the metropolis Mumbai. Aare colony is known as one of the very few green belts of the city. It is an extended forest area of Borivali National Park, which has small villages and more located in Goregaon East. It is also known as Chota Kashmir with a lake for boating. More to the attraction list is Aare picnic spot, bird watching locations, cattle hangouts, cycling and jogging, as it happens to offer the best fresh environment in the noise and air polluted city. Monsoons are awesome inside the colony and attract many migratory birds. This place is one of the most loved bird watching locations of Mumbai city. The widely spread colony is about 3,600 to 4,000 acres of forest land, which also attracts nature enthusiasts. In this age of digitalization and globalization, Mumbai is rapidly developing. To further develop it, it was decided to expand the scope of Mumbai Metro. So, the Metro Car Depot proposed a petition to cut 2,646 trees of the Aare colony. The petition was signed by the authorities and it was decided that the project will wipe out 2,646 trees in RA colony. The permission for the tree cutting of RA Metro car shed depot was uploaded on the MCGM website on 4th October 2019 evening and tree cutting began the same night. The courts were shut down for the weekend and then for Dussehra. So there was no time to challenge this action in the court and the forest would disappear into thin air. The rules make it mandatory for a tree officer to remain present on the site at the time of cutting to ensure that the right trees are cut with the right procedure followed. This rule was established by High Court order issued on 9th June 2017 to MMRCL. But the fact is that no tree officer was present at the RA car shed site on the day the trees were cut ruthlessly without monitoring. But the High Court also stated through the same order that the case can be taken to Supreme Court. Yet, the MMRCL went ahead against the law, cutting trees in the dead of night at lightning speed. On Friday, the Bombay High Court cleared the felling of over 2,000 trees of the RA forest. The verdict came as a setback to environmentalists, activists, and NGOs who were opposing the axing of green cover. Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation, means MMRC, dismissed green activists' contention on Saturday the 5th that a fresh notice was needed before cutting trees in RA colony. After the Bombay High Court dismissed petitions opposing it, protests broke out in RA colony in North Mumbai on Friday night after MMRC started cutting trees for the construction of a car shed for Mumbai Metro's Phase 3. MMRC Managing Director in a series of tweets said that the activists should accept their defeat in the court. The Bombay High Court rejected the application moved by environmental activists seeking a stay on the felling of trees at the RA colony. The trees were felled because the state government was planning to construct a car shed at the site for its ongoing metro project. A division bench comprising Chief Justice and Justice dismissed 4 petitions filed by NGOs and environmental activists on issues related to RA colony in Goregaon. The RA police arrested 29 members that gathered at the RA colony to protest against cutting of trees in the light of Mumbai High Court's verdict over the issue. More activists arrived and the protest culminated to its peak. But the authorities did not respond. Activists pressurized them. Finally, the authorities had to succumb to the activists' pressure and the Supreme Court broke the silence. It was declared that the cutting of trees would be stopped. The efforts of environmentalists, activists, and NGOs gave a fruitful and satisfactory result.
Our school had also contributed to protect the RA forest. All the students from standard 7th to 10th had participated with great enthusiasm and confidence in the rally. Empisha English High School's students had also planted 1,000 saplings in Sanjay Gandhi National Park to save the RA forest. We had planted the saplings in the national forest as the RA forest is within the national forest.
We hear a lot about climate change, but do we know what actually it is? There is still a lot of confusion around climate change. Many terms get mixed up and people don't understand its core principles. So, climate change is basically both the global warming and the human activities leading to a disturbed climate. Climate change describes a change in average conditions such as temperature in a region and rainfall over a period of time. Actually, it's a change in the average weather patterns that have come to Earth's local, regional, and global climates. So, now let's get to know what are its causes. Since the start of the Industrial Revolution in the late 18th century, Human development has been powered by developed Western nations extracting and burning fossil fuels that such as oil, coal, and gas, carbon-rich materials formed from plants and animals that died long ago. Burning these has released huge amounts of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, into the atmosphere. As industrialization has spread across the world, more and more power is needed. Even the spread of digitization is involved as power is needed for computers and the storage of data. We are seeing higher CO2 levels than there have been in 8 lakh years. CO2 is a greenhouse gas, so this is a huge cause of global warming. Forests are important to the planet because they absorb huge amounts of carbon from the atmosphere and release oxygen that we need to breathe. Humans have always destroyed vast expanses of forests to harvest wood and to clear areas for the farmland. And deforestation, which is destruction of forests, continues at a horrifying pace. Destroying forests releases carbon dioxide while lowering the ability of our planet to capture carbon from the atmosphere. The climate doesn't just provide the conditions in which life thrives, it works the other way too, as the actions of living things help to keep the climate stable. Human activities like hunting, habitat destruction, pollution, etc., has caused a 60% decline in wildlife populations in just 50 years. And if this decline continues, many ecosystems will become unable to play their part in the supporting life, including us. Today, the Earth is 1 degree Celsius warmer than 100 and 150 years ago. They may not seem like much. After all, we are facing much large temperature fluctuations every day. But for the planet, this average temperature rise is quite significant. Climate change has not been a big factor in the decline of biodiversity up to this point, but scientists are now seeing the effects of rising temperatures on wildlife, and it is clear that many species will face problems in the years ahead as temperature rise. Species that are used to certain conditions are shifting their ranges with knock on effects on the other ecosystems. The important thing to note is that biodiversity is itself our most important ally in stabilizing the climate. Healthy ecosystems play a key role in absorbing and locking away carbon. As we destroy habitats and cause wildlife population to decline, we make climate change harder to slow.
The planet is warming from north to south. Since 1906, the global average surface temperature has increased by 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and the impact of rising temperatures aren't waiting for a far-flung future. Some effects of climate change are the melting of glaciers. Summers are likely to become more hotter and drier in far in forthcoming future. The ice covering at Antarctic is likely to melt by the mid of the century. Sea level would rise about 70 meters. Due to this all, the coastal cities would be in danger as the ocean water will submerge all of them. Average temperature of Earth would rise. Increasing droughts will make the driest region ever drier. Evidences indicate that parts of South Asia have become drier since 1970s with an increase in number of droughts. Droughts have major consequences. In 1987 and 2002 and 2003, droughts affected more than half of India's crop areas and led to huge fall in crop production. If carbon emission is increased, then droughts are expected to be more frequent in some areas, especially northwestern regions. Crop yields will fall significantly due to increased heat by 2040s. Hurricanes could become more intense and wetter. A recent research showed that around 4 to 5 strongest hurricanes have increased their frequency, intensity, and duration since 1980s. Projection of future climate suggests that the recent trend towards the increased heavy precipitation will continue in future too. The warming seas and oceans will evaporate more water and will give rise to bigger storms, hurricanes, and typhoons. The intensity, frequency, and duration of hurricanes are projected to increase as the climate continues to warm. Health ailments. Adverse conditions are associated with a changing climate, and they could worsen the air quality. Air pollution has been linked to a long list of health ailments, including asthma, heart and lung damage, respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, heart stroke. Fine particulate matter is the greatest risk to public health. This pollutant has been linked to heart diseases, premature mortality, and perhaps even diabetes, autism, and cognitive impairment. Rise in floods. Millions of people in Indian subcontinent are affected by floods, which have increased during the past decades and are likely to increase in future in response to climate change. With high temperatures, we have more energy in the Earth's system. Higher ocean water and air temperature increase the possibility of evaporation. At higher temperature, air can hold more moisture content. This can lead to an increase in precipitation intensity, duration, and of frequency. Hundreds and millions of people would be displaced by 2050. Climate change may become the biggest driver of people in, in the future. In 2008, 36 million people were displaced from their homes due to natural disasters. At least 20 million of people were displaced from their homes due to disasters like droughts or rise in sea level, etc. The Internal Organization for Migration estimates that 200 million people by 2050 could be forced to leave their homes due to environmental changes. Other than these effects, there are many other effects of climate change, like western wildfires could burn up to 8 times as much land by 2100. Additional 8% of population will experience water scarcity, etc. If we do not do anything, a day will come where humans will extinct. But instead of neglecting these problems, we should start acting on them.
Solutions to climate change. Use of renewable energy. It might be surprising to know that resources such as solar power, wind, and water were utilized for human energy needs much earlier than fossil fuels were brought to use. In fact, sunlight was utilized first to make fire. Windmills and watermills were present in the days of kings and kingdoms. Until the middle of 18th century, only renewable resources were available. They are known as renewable as they are present naturally on our planet and are inexhaustible when compared to fossil fuels. After 1950, with the concept of oil peaks, began a new drive towards non-renewable resources. Today, carbon emissions, intolerable pollution levels, global warming, climate change, and energy security are related factors that are pushing us towards a cleaner, sustainable sources of energy. Therefore, renewable resources are not only clean and environment friendly, but are must for progress of economic stability of the country. All over the world, renewable sources are being explored for energy. Today, we currently see them as alternative options. However, the future goal is to shift completely to clean energy sources in order to realize the many advantages of renewable energy. Current progress and projections already show that by 2050, 50% of the world's energy will come from renewable energy. Renewable energy sources are important because they are clean, they avoid burning, polluting because of the fossil fuels. This energy is derived from natural resources which cannot be depleted over time and can be replenished within a short period. Some of the widely used renewable energy sources include solar power, wind energy, hydropower, biomass, geothermal energy, and water conservation. Make your community green. Avoid driving when needed. Going to a place nearby, prefer walking instead. Try to spend time with your loved ones while walking, and also it gives you health benefits. Switch out your light bulbs. In your home, switch out any incandescent bulbs for LED bulbs. Typically, energy efficient bulbs use nearly 25 to 80% less energy than incandescents and can last 3 to 25 times longer. Turn your balconies and backyards into gardens. Planting more trees is an essential part of eradicating greenhouse gases from Earth. Even if you can't help much, try planting a tree in your backyard or balconies, as small steps lead us to victory. Also, it creates a small biological habitat for some insects. Agriculture. The effects of climate change can be felt daily, especially by the farmers. But very few solutions have been discussed to address this catastrophic threat. However, there is one widely unknown solution to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases trapped in the atmosphere: agriculture. Reducing tillage, expanding crop rotations, planting cover crops, and reintegrating livestock into crop production systems have proven to reduce agriculture's own footprint as well as capture the excess carbon generated by the industries. This captured carbon is then converted into plant material or soil organic matter, improving the social health and increasing the ability to produce food on the land in the future. Educate yourselves and others. Human activity is the most important factor determining our future. The rapid growth of population and materialistic ways of living have given rise to what many geologists now call the era of Anthropocene. We argue that in order to solve the wicked problems of the Anthropocene, such as climate change, we need education to be organized around sensing and actualizing the full potential of human beings. It is necessary to clarify the goal of education and ideals of society towards that pursuit. Climate change and education support building societies that are categorized by flexible, creative, adaptable, well-informed, and inventive, sustainable well-being communities.
Students of MP Shah English High School have never stepped back in making Earth a better place. As you can see, these are students from pre-primary section of our school that have been taught how to plant trees and water them. The walls of MP Shah English High School are covered with exceptional wall arts creating awareness regarding global and climate change globally. Students of MP Shah English High School have contributed a lot in making these ideas possible. Students have visited many states in India in order to explore climatic changes all over the country. Teachers of MP Shah English High School have supported their students a lot in these projects. Even Corona couldn't manage to stop us creating awareness regarding climate changes in India. Students switched to virtual platform, creating and organizing various events regarding climate change. Whether it is virtually or physically, students of MP Shah English High Schools have worked unhesitantly towards conserving the nature and has always been a helping hand towards it. MP Shah English High School has been celebrating Earth Day since many years, where every student in the school gets a chance to discuss about their views on global warming and climate change. This motivation of students have helped parents also. Some parents of students have dedicated their lives towards farming and are helping their near future to live a better and healthy life. Lastly, I would like to thank every person who is striving to keep our nature safe. Now we are going to head towards the next segment of this collaborative program, the discussion round, which is an interactive segment allowing every single child to ask their doubts openly to anybody or to express their views. Thank you.
Nita, can
Yes.
we have a discussion? The students can have discussion.
Yes, sure. חבר'ה, אתם רוצים לשאול אותם איזושהי שאלה? raise their
מי
hand.
שרוצה ומעז לשאול באנגלית, קדימה, זה הזמן.
לא, כן.
No, they explained everything brilliantly.
מי
אתה רוצה לשאול אותם איך הם מתמודדים?
נתרגם.
איך הם פועלים?
קודם כל, נטע, שווה לפרגן להם באנגלית שלך,
באנגלית
גם
שלי.
לחבר'ה שלנו שהם מבינים מה אני אומרת, וגם לחבר'ה מהודו, שהמצגות היו ברמה גבוהה, מאוד מעמיקה, תרגמי אותי להודית.
להודית, מיד. איפה ליאן?
רגע, יש
ליאן
לנו
פה?
הרבה דוברי אנגלית, אז אולי מישהו
כן,
מהדוברי...
קדימה, אז יאללה, רום, תתחיל אתה.
מה אני? מה להגיד?
תשאל אותם קודם כל תחמיא להם, אין בעיה, שזה היה מאוד מעניין, ותשאל אותם איך הם הגיעו לעיסוק בזה. מה?
מה לשאול אותם?
גיל,
מה שמעניין אותך בעיקרון.
אתה יכול לעזור לנו?
So should we start with our discussion round?
Yes.
Can I ask?
אני יכול לדבר באנגלית.
כן, אז in English, רום.
Let me think.
We just wanted to say that the presentation was really very good, and you put in a lot of effort, and we can see that. We just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, Leah is having a question.
ליה, את יכולה לשאול, קדימה.
She's having a question.
ליה רוצה לשאול.
Leah, you can unmute yourself.
How many years did your school have this climate action project? Like, was it 4 years or only this year?
Yeah, you're not audible. A bit louder.
Wait, how many years did your school have a climate action project? Was it only this year or like more?
How many years you are in this project?
Saruta, you can answer. Or anyone?
So, every year we have been trying to do something for the climate, and it have been many years we are trying to save the climate.
So it is around about 5 years that we have started, but it was in very less, small things. But this year it went on a larger basis because the project was there. Otherwise, we used to go for field trips, clean beaches. So all those things, a little bit we were doing it.
זיו, יש לך שאלה?
I have somewhat 2 questions.
Okay.
Question number 1.
Yes.
Renewable energy is good for the environment, of course, but the problem is that it's very costly and it couldn't produce as much energy. So how do you think, and if you can, then in how many years do you think that our civilization could change our way of producing energy from coal and fuel to renewable energy?
I would like to answer your question. Yes, it will take some time because India is a very big country. If you know, India has a population of 135 crores plus and ongoing. So yes, it will take more time than 5 years, 10 years. But surely India would like to change to renewable energy because these things like coals and fossil fuels, they're not going to last for lifetime. Okay, they're going to end at some time or the other. So there's no option for any country in the world to change to renewable energy. And yes, it will take some time because changing everything in a country on a big scale is a very big thing and it takes some time, but India will be very happy to do so.
And we have already started with tidal energy and solar energy.
Oh, okay.
And the second question?
No, the second question was in how many years?
Ah,
think
okay.
it will happen. Yeah.
No, that will be that should be a continuous process.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yes, Rom.
All right. So about this subject in particular, have you contacted school? It doesn't have to be like you guys, I mean, maybe a few generations or years back, but have you been contacting schools in other countries?
And I would like to give this answer. No, we have not this year only. We have tried to contact schools because the project demanded that there should be interaction in the 4th week, and we have to put the link. First, we have to take the video, then put in that YouTube, and that YouTube link we had to put in the website. So this is the first year that we are trying to interact for climate project. Otherwise, for other project, leadership project, we have had a collaborative project with Jersey, UK. So such collaboration we do in different topics. For climate action project, this is the first time. And I feel Neta was immediately able to answer the email and it worked out.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. But essentially, I think that in order for this project to actually take how do I say it? To basically to make it work better or to be a lot more efficient, the interaction needs to be a lot bigger. I mean, we're just 100 people here, and there are 7 billion people out there in the world, and it's practically 70 million times the people we have here.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah. But this is just the beginning. This is my first time. I feel Neta's first time too. We were just experimenting. So maybe in the second or the other sessions that we'll have, we can work out much better.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Once again, we can have more interactions. It's like this is the first one, but we can have more interactions and we can have more countries collaborating, because I have seen teachers collaborating with 4 or 5 countries together, and all the students come together and they have discussions. And these tubes, this link is there on the climate exchange, this action project website. And they have given a lot of resources to see how to go about doing interactions. So almost all the schools around the world, the 75 countries that are there, all the teachers have to put the link in the website, and that becomes a resource for others to see. So I feel it has reached everywhere. And this is one interaction. In future, we will continue the interaction. Am I right, Nita?
Yes. It's also our first time in the project and collaborating with other countries.
Yeah. Well, the more the merrier, I guess.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, Aditya Gupta is having a question. Yes, Aditya?
Yes, I have a question that I want to know, what all things are going in Israel to protect this environment, and what is your progress? What is Israel's progress in this project? Can anyone briefly explain me?
May I?
Kenzie,
Yeah.
yes.
So Israel is a pretty small country, if you didn't know, and we aren't doing as much good, but there are still good parts that we are doing. Like, I know about the we have a project in Israel that you can buy yourself a solar panel for your house yourself and make your own electricity. Now, of course, it's green and it's good for the environment, but the catch is that it's also cost effective, because you don't need to pay for electricity because you make your own electricity. And as I know, it's really worked out. Now in the 90s, there were about 10% solar panels in Israel, as I know, but today it's about 60%, 70, even more. So that's one. Second, because Israel, and of course the Negev, is a pretty hot place, we created a lot of solar panels, and אני לא יודע איך, נטע, המגדל הזה שיש מראות שמכוונות אליו
Solar tower.
Solar.
Yeah, the solar tower. We have a giant solar tower that's
בדרך לשדה בוקר.
Yeah, and it makes renewable energy, and it helps a lot of cities. And because it's the Negev, we have a lot of, because the temperature is really hot, so we get a lot of electricity from it.
But
May I
you
add?
also have to remember that it has a cost. Because the high energy, there are many problems with the animals and the surrounding. So everything that we do, we have to check out what is the benefit and what is the cost of it.
May I
I
add?
think it's something that has to do with all the problems around.
May I add to what Ziv said?
Yes.
All right. So basically, I know what we're doing here is very important and it can be very effective, but for now, it's not really effective because we are students. I'm not saying it's not important. It is, but the real people, the people who can really make a change, are the people in who are higher, like the government, mainly. The government, they are the ones that are trying to, that's supposed to make the big change that can actually change this world. But actually, in Israel, we don't hear often about things like this. So unfortunately, there is not there.
Can I answer to you and basically to all the students? You're the citizens of the next generation.
Yes.
So if you will learn about it and know about it and think about it, you can act now as a student, but later on as grown-ups. And I think education is the basic answer for it. And in the presentation, the guys from India said that education is one of the solutions. So I think
True,
this
you're
start,
absolutely right.
and
You're
maybe
absolutely right,
this is
but
the time to ask the students, what can they do? What can they do about it?
you're correct. You're absolutely correct. But the catch here is time. We're not grown-ups yet. We're still just students, and we don't have a lot of time. Every day, every day, every month, every week, the planet gets hotter, and the state gets worse and worse. And I'm afraid we don't have enough time as we had like a decade ago.
Now, Rom, but the youth...
אולי זאת שאלה לכם, תלמידים, ותחשבו גם, תענו בעברית או באנגלית, מה אנחנו בתור תלמידים יכולים לעשות? איפה אנחנו יכולים להשפיע? אז מי שרוצה שיענה. שי, כן.
In my opinion, the whole cause of this project is to cause a difference in the government. So that's like something that we can do in the near future. And also, there is, in my opinion, there's no other like way that's will take less time. So this like is mostly our only option.
Okay. Someone else?
May I add?
Yes.
I think that us students can do much more than the governments and the politicians, because we are the people. We are the citizens, and we
that's
can
the reason this project is basically for the students.
Yes.
All the students, 10 million students have participated. 10 million 10 million students around the world, and they are going to attend the session today in the evening, where everyone from United Nations, then UNESCO, UNICEF, all are participating. There are speakers. There's Rick from NASA. There's Belgium Princess who's going to they are the ambassadors of climate change, and they want the students to participate. And therefore, it is not teachers' project; it's students' project. So, as your ma'am has already mentioned, it is for the future sustainability. and citizen. So you are the one who is going to bring the change. So act now. So in the future, you can sustain yourself. Right?
You will be in the future, not the government.
Indeed.
Yes.
So
the power is in your hands. Sorry?
So now we can start with the Wakelet.
Wakelet. All right.
Uh,
you send us a link?
Yeah. Vedant,
all right.
Can share the link. Okay, I'll share the link. Yeah. Okay. This is a link. And Vedant,
can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Okay, so as you listen to Renu ma'am, we are the future generations, and we would do something for the nature. So, can anyone tell me that what comes in your mind when Renu ma'am said this? What can you all do to conserve our nature in the future?
It's sent us in the chat.
I would like to answer you. There are creations of many national parks around our country that preserve the nature, and we also, there are lots of all kinds of things that we do to plant trees and stuff. Like with the family, it also causes a family and like payload thing. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Activity.
Yeah, activity. Yeah. Yeah. So it's good also for the nature and also for the family. So both sides benefit from it.
Okay. Thank you. So Vedant, now can you tell? Can you tell us how to go about the Wakelet?
Yes, yeah, we already explained them. Now they are getting in and right.
Okay. They are.
Inside. Yes, yes.
But okay. But still, try to explain those who don't know.
So the steps to use Wakelet are: click the link provided to you in the chat box and sign up your account with your own name. Once you enter the Climate Action Project collection, click on Edit option, which is on the upper right corner. Then click on the plus sign. You will get an option to add text. So write there your views and solutions to climate change and click on Done.
מי שלא הבין, הוא אמר שאתם נכנסים לקישור ובעצם כותבים את הפתרונות שיש לכם לבעיות האקלים.
רגע.
אוקיי.
זה בקולקשן הזה?
בווקלט הזה.
I'll stop the record.
מה זאת אומרת? אז איך כאילו...
כמו פאדלט.
תיכנסו לקישור של הווקלט שהיא כתבה, ואז אתם נכנסים, אתם תראו...
edit collection?
edit collection.
כן, ואז, אבל תעתיק את הקישור, אתה רואה שהיא שלחה פה קישור, גם אני שלחתי בקבוצה.
כן, כן.
תעתיק אותו, תעשה וג'וין, ועכשיו אתם יכולים להוסיף טקסט.
I'll just share the screen.
Yeah.
איך נכנסים לזה?
So this is...
הורדת את האפליקציה קודם?
So you have to go to Spaces.
במחשב לא צריך להוריד, פשוט לוחצים על...
אם הורדת בטלפון, יש לך אופציה להשתמש בקוד, ואז כתוב לך קוד.
אני פה קוד.
So this...
אני אכתוב אותו בקבוצה של
edit collection.
Yes.
So now you can see that there are many things that I have already added. So you all cannot see. Okay, someone has added. You all have already added. This is the plus sign. You'll have to click over here. You have to write your name and you have
תכתבו,
to
יובל, אני
write
רואה
it.
שאתה מנסה, אז לכתוב משהו בהקשר של שינוי האקלים.
נטע, זה לא נותן לי, כאילו, אני רושם וזה לא נותן לי לעלות.
You have to write the solutions of climate change.
פתרונות למשבר האקלים. שינוי האקלים.
all are writing.
אני נכנסתי ללינק
Everyone's
וזה
writing.
פשוט לא מכניס אותי לאותו מקום שאתם בו.
אבל אני רואה שיש פה ילדים שכתבו כבר, מיכל כתבה,
כן.
טל כתבה, יש פה אנשים שמצליחים, יובל עוד, הנה, אילון, גם בעברית זה בסדר.
כן, אמרתי בקבוצה.
רותם, הנה, יש תשובות, יופי.
So you can see everyone is writing.
אתה צריך לעשות edit collection. אם לא עשית...
You have to go to edit collection.
אם אתה לא לוחץ על edit זה לא עובד.
See, this is my YouTube link. This is the site of Climate Action Project. You can add pictures. You can add links.
Doesn't show me option to edit.
So up, I have already sent that option.
אסף, תנסה לעשות את זה מהמחשב, אם לא אז לא נורא.
מהמחשב זה עובד.
כן.
You can go over here and then you see this is the link from any YouTube or any video. You can add text. This is YouTube link. This is a Twitter link. If you have anything that you have saved over there, then bookmark, then any image, or you want to upload PDF or Google Drive, what you have done and the pictures you have kept over there. Then from OneDrive, and this is the video. This is Flipgrid. If you have recorded a video of 1.5 minutes regarding what you will do for climate change, you can upload that only. That also from Flipgrid directly.
Okay. Okay, Ru. It was very interesting.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much.
I would like to thank you very much.
לא הבנתי איך להשתמש בזה במחשב.
שלחתי בקבוצה של הכיתה.
טוב, חבר'ה, עכשיו...
Okay, I would like to thank you very much. It was very interesting.
זה חובה לעשות את זה?
לא.
לא, זה לא חובה, זה יהיה נחמד מי שימלא.
Sakshi would like to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you a lot.
Yes, thank you. It was very interesting and very educated. Work very hard and you do a good job.
Very good
Sakshi, vote of thanks.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Sakshi.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. It's been fun.
Bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
Thank you all of you for your support. I would like to thank all the dignitaries. Netta ma'am.
Have a good day.
Sakshi, continue.
Goodbye. Have a good day.
Goodbye. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Goodbye.
רגע, היא רוצה שאחת התלמידות שלה תגיד את התודות, תנו לה לדבר.
מה היא רוצה, אמיר?
אחת מהתלמידות שלה רוצה לברך לתת תודות, אז תנו להם לסיים.
אוקיי, פספסנו את זה.
Sakshi can continue.
I would like to thank each and everyone present here Your presence made us feel very good. And thank you very much, Netta ma'am, and
Thank
all the
you.
dignitaries present, principal, your team, and teachers, and all the students. I would like to thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We enjoyed. Thank you, Renu, also.
Bye.
Thank
We'll
you.
keep in touch.
Can I have a grid view? Gallery view.
Again?
Gallery view.
What?
A gallery view for images.
היא רוצה תמונות של כולם כדי לעשות צילום.
So you want a gallery view for your...
Okay.
You have to put the images, na?
Bye,
Anita, ma'am,
thank you.
take a gallery view.
שימו את הגלרי.
Put my email? You want?
Yeah.
לא,
No. You have
gallery
to
view.
put on the website, na? Climate action project. So you have to put some images
All
on
right.
the website. The
Amir,
climate action.
תשים תמונות.
We will, yeah.
We will do that. Thank you again.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye everyone and thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.